get you ready to go. Alrighty, today is Friday. It's November 20th, and we made it through another week in our reading series. We were reading a story that was nonfiction called Amazing Birds Nests, and we were working on vocabulary and phonics and main idea and details and a lot of good stuff. And you're going to show what you know in your test this week. That's your big Google Classroom activity. So it looks like, whoops. It'll look like this, and it's going to have a green box that says realize on it. That's the name of the activity.
On my computer, so.
Are you good? Okay. And it has today's date, Friday, 11-20. It says follow the link to take your test. If you have questions, put them in the private comment box. When you're on Google Classroom, it's not on the picture, but down here is a box that says comments. Send me a message if you need help. The private comment box is a lot like the chat box. Only you and I can see it, but make sure that we're using it appropriately. So when you click on your activity, it's going to bring it to a big green screen, and it's going to look something like this when it loads. It says Week 5 Test Online, and it gives you your directions. It says answer each question carefully. After you submit your test, you won't be able to change your answers. Some parts of the test, I think it's just the directions, has this blue button that says listen with the headphones or a microphone, and it'll read some things to you, but I think it's just the directions. That's new this year. So I haven't played around with it enough because I don't get to see the student side all the time. School internet's a little bit slow today. Hopefully this will load quickly.
Really slow.
While this is spinning, it does remind you on the bottom, there's a button that says review progress. So you can go back and look at the questions if you missed any. It tells you what question number you're on of the 20, and then it has a go and a back and a next button. Hang on. Let me see if I can try that again. Just so you can see what it looks like before you get started. But I think we may not be able to do that. Because the internet is having a Friday as well. A little bit tired. Well, I'm going to try one more time. And as we wait for that, we're going to think about test taking strategies.
Sigarino.
We're going to talk about test taking strategies. We're going to make sure that we are reading all directions and all parts. We're going to make sure that we are answering all parts on the test, just like if we were together with the paper test. It lets you go back and forth and look at the information to answer the questions. Here we go. Your first section is always vocabulary. And it says directions. Find the word or words with the same meaning as the underlined word. Click the circle next to the answer. So for number 1, it says the bird's bill was yellow and flat. And the underlined vocabulary word is bill. So you have to think about, what did we talk about this week? What is a bill? Is it a wing, a foot, a back, or a beak? Don't put it in the chat box. You're going to click on the answer that you think is correct, and then press the next button on the bottom. Question number 2 for vocabulary, it keeps the directions on there so you remember what to do. Nikayla, stay out of the chat box. We're using it appropriately. Question number 2 is on the bottom. Lauren stood on the station platform. It's underlined. It wants to know what a platform is. Is a platform a raised floor, a flat step, a slanted roof, or a boat deck? Click on the answer that you think is correct and then go next to the next question. We had 7 vocabulary words this week, so we have 7 vocabulary questions. Question number 8 changes to phonics. Phonics is the spelling skill. Phonics is how we read words and use their sounds. It says directions. Find the word that best answers the question. Click the circle next to the answer. Okay. Heather's father likes to cook. Which word has the same sound as the TH in father? The TH is the consonant digraph. What word has the same sound as father? Is it feather, fatter, feeder, or faded? Which has the TH in it? Click on the word that is correct. Go on to the next question. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I lost my shoe playing soccer, which has the same sound as the SH in shoe. Sorry. Chance, fish, scooter. Click on the one with the same sound. Go on to the next question. Questions 13 through 20 are your comprehension passage. This is nonfiction. This is real facts. Our passage is called Why We Dream, and it's about Dr. Margaret Chang. Use your strategies. If you can't remember what her name is and don't get tripped up on it, just call her something else. Dr. Margaret Chang studies how people sleep. Paragraph 1, paragraph 2, paragraph 3, paragraph 4, paragraph 5, 6, and 7. After you read it, this looks a lot like the map test. After you read it, it has directions. Choose the item that best answers the question about the selection. That's the passage that you just read. Click the circle next to the answer. So read your question, read your answer choices, pick what looks good, and then go on to the next question. The bottom tells me this is question 14, and the passage is here again, so I can scroll back up and look for the information. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Question number 20 is the passage. It's the question. And then after you answer question 20, press next. And then a screen looks like this is going to pop up, and it's going to tell you what did you answer and what is not answered. If there are any questions that are red, it says view question. Click on this, go back and check your work. Okay. At the end, go through it all. When all of these are black and not red, this button says submit test. When you submit test, the test is over and it shows you I think it shows you your score, but it definitely tells you that you are finished. So that is your job for right now, to go in and take your test. When you're done, press submit. Go back to Google Classroom, make sure that it's turned in, and then you're done for the day with your reading test. Then log on to Lexia. Even if you've met your goal this week, log on to Lexia. I have some friends, and I'm not sure if they're on the call, but I have some friends that I told you this morning. October 29th is the last day they went on Reflex and Lexia. That's the last day we were together in school. That means every day you are not getting your work done. After that, if you have time left over, silent reading is what you're working on, something to read at home, or some of the reading activities that are in the Google Classroom. Speaking of silent reading, you had a passage this week for fluency called Koalas. It has 3 paragraphs, and if your name is on the list, you were to be checking in with Mr. Bill. This morning, I celebrated about 6 of you who have been checking in with Mr. Bill to do some reading. Your times are here. We can go to the website and type in his code, or this morning I learned that you can go to the Google page and click on the waffle on top. The 9 dots looks like the waffle. And then when you go down, there's a camera that says meet. And when you click on it, it brings you to a page that has this box on it. And you type in the code, Valone 11. And then you read and you get your work done. So Google Meet, check mark, done for today. Next, you're going to Google Classroom to take your test. Then you're going to Lexia, and then you're doing some silent reading. On Mr. Bill's schedule, Jet is going to log off with me and go see Mr. Bill. And Miss Signorino and I are going to keep Yasmin, Taylor, Azaria, Kaden, and Melanie for a few minutes before you do your test. So, sorry. Meet, test, Lexia, read, 10 o'clock. I'll see you next. I'm going to press stop on the recording and answer questions.